All right, see if we can get this set up and working all right. All right. We'll hang out here for a couple of minutes and see if anybody else shows up, and then we'll get started. Just grab your beer, or I've got tea because I've got a head cold that I'm trying to get over. But yeah, what's going on, Mark? In the meantime, I gotta get my Instagram. All right, 1 second. One second. Give it another minute or two. New job, sick. Congrats. Lacrosse practice. It snowed here, so yeah, no biking for me today. I had intervals on the schedule, and yeah, didn't happen because we got like 4 inches of snow and then rain all day. So was not happy about that. Anyways, yeah, let's kick this off. This will be the first one I've done. Would like to pull in a guest each time I do one of these. Should be pretty interesting. But yeah, so kind of the way I'm thinking about doing this is I'll play each stage and kind of talk over the stage, and then at the end of the stage we'll answer any questions and respond to any notes and comments you guys had. So yeah, let me start off. So I did this event. It's a Salida Funduro, and hilariously decided to sign up for Pro, which is certainly interesting. What up, Taj? Yeah, so it was certainly interesting racing Pro. Decided to do it because it was a pretty simple, pretty small, fun enduro, not like a serious one or anything. And yeah, just wanted to see how I'd stack up against some of the bigger guys and everything like that. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, guys? So yeah, decided to race Pro and see how it go. And so yeah, we'll live stream each stage and talk about it, what went well, what didn't go well, and everything like that. And yeah, I would love any advice or thoughts or comments as I run through this. That would be awesome. Yeah, it was a blast. But yeah, let's kick it off with this first one. All right. All right, so this is stage 1, which started up on the top of Dude Abides. And unfortunately, that's all I got because my GoPro battery died. So I didn't get too far. We didn't even make it to the timer. Either way, this stage was a lot of fun, but it was super pedally. And I made a couple of dumb mistakes. But anyways, let's jump up. Let's jump over to the second stage. and make sure you guys actually saw that. Did that all work? Did you see some video? All that fun stuff? Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure. Okay, cool. We did get it. Awesome. Okay. 2. Started up at the top of sand dunes. And I can link you guys these trails probably at a later date because, yeah, forgot to do it right now. Yeah, so this was the top of upper sand dunes all the way to lower sand dunes. So yeah, going to talk you through this one, and yeah, leave comments. Let me know what you think I did well, what I could have done better, and I'll sync up with you guys after this one's run through. So I only got to pre-ride all this stuff about once or twice, and I didn't pre-ride stage 2 too much just because most of the trails went down stage 2, at least from the top and the bottom at certain points. Nothing too bad here. This corner was a little tricky, so I tried to take that inside line up on the left. And then things get a little chunky. Probably could have taken a higher left line there, and then my nemesis seems to be pedaling over rocks sometimes, so that stuff slows me down a little bit more than I'd like. So that's definitely something I need to work on a little bit more. One thing I will note as in this video and all the other videos is as I was racing the enduro about like a quarter of the way through, I realized that my front fork was probably a lot softer than it should have been. And so it was diving a lot. So it was a lot more tentative going down stuff like this, which gets pretty chunky and rocky, just because I was basically trying to like not endo the whole time. I've since thrown in a heavier spring, but yeah, I mean, it's all a learning process, that's for sure. But yeah, this top section of upper sand dunes it's a little chunky, not super chunky or anything, but a little chunky, and I think a lot more pedaling than a lot of the other stuff. So there's a right line right over those rocks that's a little bit straighter that I should have taken. I didn't remember it from practicing and from my pre-rides. And this is probably one of my biggest mistakes. I did not get into an easy enough gear here. So I was just trying to crank down on the power. You can see how much time I lost here. It was just definitely a hilarious mistake. But yeah, I lost a bunch of time there. So you go down here, hang a right, and then this kind of starts about halfway through upper sand dunes. It's like flowy with a couple of rocks thrown in, nothing crazy or anything like that. But yeah, it was just, bike was feeling a little bit weird. I wasn't quite warmed up, and so I wasn't really able to carry speed as much as I wanted to. Had kind of like a short little climb here. This part gets a little sketchy just because you've got like 3 drops one after another, and they're not quite large enough, or at least for me, to kind of gap 1 or 2 of them, and then you got a left-hander. That's a little tricky. Yeah, nothing super crazy so far. Just trying to straight line as much as I can. So this is where things got pretty interesting. This is all sand right here. And I screwed up and just lost traction, so both my feet came unclipped. So I lost a little bit of time there. this part's pretty slow just because of that. Had to crank down on the power to make up for that. And now we start heading down lower sand dunes. So lower sand dunes is less pedally, it's more flowy, but it's still got like a couple of rock features and everything like that in it. So we'll see this probably one more time. So I was convinced that left was faster, but I think if you can hit the rocks quick enough and stay planted, it's actually faster to go right up that rock. Straight line it, make this corner, which is, it's not super tough, but it's a little challenging. And since this was stage 2, I wasn't really pushing super hard just because I wanted to make sure I had enough energy. That being said, after the day was done, I probably could have pushed quite a bit harder on stage 1, 2, and then even the bottom of 3. And sorry for, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but sorry for the wind noise. If you can hear it, I did not have my dead cat on. It's a cool little wall ride here, but I just tried to use it as a catch berm. Got a little hung up there. Definitely could take that stuff a little bit faster, but yeah. I don't remember exactly what was going through my head at that point. I don't know if I was sort of like hanging on or what the deal was. But this is basically just like a straight line whole way down. You can really haul ass through it. I was definitely way more tentative than I should have been through this whole section. Try to hit that outside line through the berm, and then just charge hard as I can. And boom, across the finish line. So yeah, that was stage 2. So yeah, let's check in and see what you guys think. Got any comments? Yeah, laggy. I don't know, my connection might be a little bad. Looks like it's all right now, but yeah, might be a little bit bad. Yeah, camera is on top of the helmet. All right. Let me see. Let me close a couple of things out, see if I can fix the lagginess. Let me see. All right, hopefully this is a little bit better. Let's see if I got this working a little bit better now. My internet connection might not be the best currently, so trying to work with what I got. See if I got this working a little bit better now. What's up, Shift? My internet connection might not be the best currently, so trying to work with what I got. I'll also be sharing the stages separately, so if this is too laggy, we can watch them at a later date, probably tomorrow. Should hopefully have the race vlog, and then I can post all this stuff up tomorrow, or maybe later tonight. All right. Come on. Sorry, just dealing with technical difficulties at the moment. Make sure. Is there anything else killing my network? Nope. Sorry guys, trying to get this stream to not be crazy. All right. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. Should hopefully be better now. Okay. Should hopefully be better now. Just gonna make sure this updates enough on my end, so that way make sure everything's hunky-dory. Alrighty. Okay. Sweet. Sorry about the hiccups and everything like that. Just first time doing this, so there's always a little bit of hiccups, and yeah, connection's not the greatest. Anyways, yeah, so that was stage 2. So let's check out stage 3. So stage 3 was probably the most technical and gnarly of everything. Definitely pretty rough. That's for sure. And break this down a sec. Just trying to pop out my chat so it's a little easier to talk to you guys, see what's going on. Okay, so, all right, so here's stage 3. This is the top of Uncle Nasty, and this went all the way down to Cottonwood right before it hit Backbone. If you're not familiar with any of those trails, tough. This is definitely the rockiest and gnarliest of the trails. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so starting off, I had a little trouble getting clipped in. Focused way more on that, and so I hit that tree right there and tore a hole in my jersey, which kind of sucked. But yeah, after that, everything was kind of running smooth. Saw this sweet line over here off to the right that I took, which basically straight lines everything. So you miss this whole rock garden, gnarly section with a really tough corner. And yeah, you can just basically straight line the whole thing. Felt good. Did not have enough speed to hit that drop, or wasn't feeling comfortable just with the way the fork was diving and everything like that. So yeah, a little rough. Same thing with that rollover, just skipped it because of the way the fork was feeling. I think definitely going around here is quicker than going over that rock. And this is probably, that's like your second gnarly rock garden. And I got knocked offline. Fork was not feeling good. I mean, it was feeling good, but it's just not a firm enough spring rate to support me. And a lot of the pictures I got showed that. This is probably the toughest section, and I just got knocked offline. I tried to get back on and ride it, but it was just not happening. So yeah, cyclocross style, just run it down, which I was really bummed about. I practiced this a lot so I could just hit the line and run smoothly through it, because most other people are just going to get tied up and hung up in that. So that was probably my biggest mistake there. So now we get to a couple like piddly sections in Uncle Nasty. Couple little hang-ups. But yeah, this is just like a cardio, fitness, power section where you've got not a long climb. You've got like 30 seconds to a minute of pretty decent pedaling. Not really much to add here. It's just flowy. Trees are tall. I'm tall, so I have to duck down so I don't smack my head and rip my GoPro off. Quick little berm. I definitely took this corner a little bit slow, but now we're on to Cottonwood. This part gets real fun. It's real flowy. There definitely looks like that could have been a little jump. This was really tough because you got a stump in that tree. It was just really hard to hit that. So probably should have just stayed to the left of that stump. But another tight corner here. Some more flow. and some pedaling. This is quite a pedally enduro. Not as pedally as I've done, but it is definitely pedally. Just flow, so it's all about looking as far ahead as you can, just keeping speed. Looks like some people took a straight line through that, which was pretty shitty, because they were pretty adamant about not straight lining and staying on the trail, but you always got those people who care more about winning the race than they do about the trails and being able to do it again next year. Messed up that corner a little bit, just came in a little too hot, so I had to slow down too much. And then this part's a little tricky. You got a really short power punchy climb, which I was again in the wrong gear for. Seems to be a common theme for me. A hiker. And there's the finish. So yeah, that was that's stage 4, or I'm sorry, stage 3. Let me see what we got in the comments here. Yeah, Scott, definitely a learning curve. I think every race you got a little bit of a learning curve, trying to figure out the right process and everything like that. Thanks, Shift. Yeah, felt like it was flying. Watching it back, it doesn't seem like I was flying nearly as much, but it is what it is. When is Monarch Crest opening? At this point, Brian, probably never. It just got hammered with snow, at least here where I'm at, and yeah, it sounds like everybody's getting hit with some good snow. What's going on, mountain bike on? Alrighty, you guys ready for stage 4? The last stage? Let me have some tea first. Alrighty. Let's get stage 4 set up. Mountain Bacon, where are you in New Mexico? Yeah, Salida's interesting. It's a mountain town, but it's very deserty. So I think it's a good combination. It doesn't really get, at least the stuff in town, which you can all pedal to from in town, doesn't get hammered with a ton of snow, and it dries up pretty quick, so you can ride pretty much year round. But then you've got Monarch, and yeah, I'm in Taos currently, so I feel you with getting hammered with snow. We got like 4 inches, so it was rough. Anyways, let's kick off stage 4. So stage 4, so the way the enduro worked, there was a beginner, did like maybe 2,200 feet of climbing in 4 stages, which were significantly shorter. And then the expert pro guys, again, I decided to race pro just to kind of see where I'd fall in the middle of everything. Those guys, we did maybe 22 miles and about 3,800 feet of climbing. So it was a pretty big day. Stage 4 was the only stage where both beginners and expert pro did the same stage. So yeah, super interesting. Anyways, this one was down Hooligan, and then it linked up with lower sand dunes, which you guys have seen already, at least if you were here earlier in the stream. Anyways, yeah, this is by far my best race run, but let me make sure I got everything set up here. Cool. Okay, kick it off. So yeah, as I mentioned, my fork was feeling pretty divey, so I wasn't able to take those corners nearly as quickly as I would have liked. Probably should have just topped that rock there, but you know, it is what it is. Tried to stay away from too many drops and too many jumps. Totally botched this line. Just I wasn't looking far enough ahead, so I kind of hit that drop a little slow. But yeah, trying to skip the jumps, the drops, just because typically, like if you're getting up in the air, you're not going as quick. But at the same time, like if you can flow through the stuff, that's also quicker. Nice little gap jump there. Took the smaller one. And this is where stuff starts getting a little chunky. So you've got this rock roll over on the left, but this inside line's a little bit better because you can cut the corner pretty quickly. Some more rocks, a little punchy up. And we get to some rocky downhill stuff. Chunky rocks, tight, some switchbacks and berms. So when you're on the gas, this stuff definitely gets pretty hard, pretty challenging. I messed up that corner pretty hard. The inside line, I think, is definitely the better option there. And then because of that, I wasn't able to go in nearly as quickly through all this stuff. Again, short little power climb, and I'm just mashing it instead of trying to spin up faster, and so yeah, just time lost here. Left line's definitely a straighter line through here, up and over this rock, and then you got a nice, easy corner here. So I stopped and practiced that for a bit, which is pretty rad. And some drops, a little bit more up and down. Trying to fall off the trail and trying to mash. So yeah, definitely need to get a little bit better about that. Chunky rocks. And then we start getting into the downhill stuff. Quick corner. This stuff gets really steep here. Built up rocks in corners. Just gets a little tough to kind of go through it, especially because my fork was diving pretty hard. I definitely think I could have carried a little bit more speed through that stuff. Little drop here on the right, up in the berm, and then we're back down into lower sand dunes. Got knocked offline a touch, down through the rocks. Again, that rock garden came in through it way faster this time than the first time I did it. Drop. You can definitely see more places to pedal and kind of put down power and get up to speed. Back up to this uphill section. Right back into the sandy bit, which I did way better in this time. Over the rocks, way better speed. Flowing way better through this. After riding down this so many times, you just kind of figure out the lines, and I rode this probably like 10 times over the course of 3 days, so I was really starting to get a feel for where the lines were and where best to hit everything and where you could really rail the corners, where the rocks were. Again, I think that right line up and over the rock is definitely quicker if you can hit it. Stay to the left of that rock, down through here. Almost fell off. Just getting tired. Berm, berm. Up and over the rocks. Pump, pumped. Fast turn. Quick turn. I also, since I had new tires on, was finally getting used to kind of where my traction was and where it would let go to get around those turns a little bit quicker. Squash the jump. In through the rocks, over the rocks. Those are tough, man. You're going through so fast and you don't want to slip on them. They're tough because you can't really see around. And again, here we go, the haul ass section. Just let off your brakes. Don't brake. No brakes. Hard brakes right there. And right through this berm. Slowed down a little bit too much here, but it's still flowing good, and then just crank down on the power as hard as you can. And boom, that's stage 4. Stage 4 all wrapped up. So what do you guys think? Was that a pretty cool format? You like the commentary live stream while watching the stages at the same time? Think the format worked? You guys got any questions on the race? It's basically, I guess, sort of like you're racing it without actually having to race it. So yeah, if you're interested in racing, it's probably a good way to kind of feel that. And I guess for shift, you can see different lines and everything like that, because I'm quite sure everybody's style is different. We took different lines. For sure, thanks. Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. I'd love to pull in some guests sometimes to provide additional input, whether that's strength coach or cycling coach or somebody else who did the race or whatever, just some random person that wants to come in and chat. I think that'd be pretty cool to bring in too, to give alternative input. Yeah, for sure. Riding by myself all the time, it's rough not being able to test out and see different lines and everything like that. So yeah, it's glad you guys were able to see some different lines and different options and everything like that. You know, it's the best way to get better is you don't see things sometimes. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I should have hopefully, if I did a good enough job with it, should have some of that on the race vlog, which, if I can get around to it, will come out tomorrow. Hopefully. Hopefully. Anyways, I don't think I told you guys how I placed. So since you're here, I placed 7th in Pro Men, which is pretty rad. I was pretty pumped about that. That being said, I think their timing got severely messed up, so I don't know how right all the times were. But either way, I was pretty happy with what I did. I think it was a pretty good first race of the season, trying to figure things out. So you don't want to figure it out on your first important race. You want to get it taken care of on the not important races before. So definitely a good place to try things out and everything like that. Speaking of trying things out, I did throw some new tire inserts on in my bike, so I was dealing with that. I was dealing with new tires and everything like that. So there was definitely some lack of confidence through a lot of things with a whole bunch of new things on the bike. So for anybody else out there racing and wants to be competitive, don't change your setup. Like, run with what you got, because you know how it works. Yeah, let me see. Let me pull that up. That's a good question, Brian. How did I do overall? Yeah, their timing chips aren't too great, so showing me how I did is not so hot. So okay, so for stage 1, I placed 8th, which you guys didn't see because my battery died. Stage 2, I also placed 8th. Just had a couple of mistakes. So that was the upper sand dunes, lower sand dunes. There were a couple pedally sections, and I just lost a lot of time through that. You know, it cost me probably upwards of a minute or so. Stage 3, it looks like, stage 3 I got 7th. And stage 4 I got 7th. So yeah, stage 3, I think if I didn't have to walk, that probably would have saved me at least 30 seconds. 30 seconds on that stage. And stage 4, I made a couple of minor mistakes. I think it was just mostly bike setup for me for stage 4 that did me in. Otherwise, stage 4 felt really great. I was really happy with the way stage 4 went for me. So yeah, felt pretty good, and I was faster than quite a few really fast people. So yes, I am going to put all the videos up on my channel. I will probably post them either tonight or Friday. I want to finish up the race vlog and link everything together for SEO and all that crazy stuff. No, I did not see any mountain bike radio folks. I don't know what they look like, so did not see any of them. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'm gonna probably wrap this up. And thanks for hanging out and chilling out with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I know they're a struggle, and yeah, internet connection's not the best among other issues and everything like that. But yeah, thanks for hanging around and watching this stuff. Yeah, leave a comment or something like that if you guys like the format. I can do a voiceover, but I think the live streams pretty cool, especially if I can pull some other folks in on it. I think that'd be pretty rad. I'll give you guys a minute or two to ask any questions if you got them. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you guys next time. The next race is next weekend, so following Thursday. I'll hopefully do another